Do you believe in magic? Any younger? Oh, howdy, friends. Do you think perchance we're working on this Oscar Schmidt made Paramount auto harp leather? No? Why not? Very good, because Guitkits said he's never going to fix this instrument. He's just going to use it as a segue to other instruments. So what segue to what other instrument could we possibly do? Could it possibly be Satan? No. Oscar Schmidt? Check this out, man. You see this? This is the prototype for the most produced guitar in one location of all time. And that's the Harmony 929, which was produced in Chicago by Harmony from 1946 to like 1974. 75. Some shit like that. Long time. And the specs of that guitar are pretty much same as this. A trapeze tailpiece, floating bridge, same old shit. This was the mid-1930s Stella, made by the Oscar Schmidt Company. Hey, in Jersey City, New Jersey. Right? In case you think it's Jersey City somewhere else. And I'm not talking about Jersey City in Britain. You know, I'm not talking about Jersey, New Jersey. You know what I'm saying? So what happened was, toward the Great Depression, 1932, 33, the Stellas then used to have a bridge that would be, you know what I mean, glued on the thing here, you know what I'm saying, set bridge with the little, you know what I'm saying, saddle and everything. And they're happy, but those are harder to produce. And this is easier, you know, you need trained people, you know, smart people lined up. This, you could put it here. You could train any old horse to make this instrument. Because you didn't really need, you know, you just look, this is the line. It was really easy to make. It was easy to service. It's easy to sell. A lot of people were playing guitar in the Great Depression. So in the mid-30s, they switched to this sort of setup. And then they hit financial, like, hard times. Now what happened was Oscar Schmidt was a regional, like, huge, like, sort of supplier for Sears Roebuck, which made it through the Depression, like, woo, which they made it through modern times, like, woo. But the reason Harmony survived is Harmony was purchased by Sears Roebuck. They're like, you're a big supplier for us, especially in the Chicago area. You know, we're Chicago, what's up, kid? We're going to buy you out. And they bought out Harmony. And Harmony, at the time, was actually working, you know what I mean, against Oscar Schmidt originally. And then, because they were owned by Sears, and Sears was sort of had, you know what I mean, they were plugged into both sockets, you know what I mean? Like, well, we're going to sort of, you know, we're going to network. You know what I'm saying? So, we see a couple of Harmonies, like mid-30s Harmonies with this, and like a paper, you know what I'm saying? Like these exact, you know what I mean, hardware, which are all made in-house by Oscar Schmidt. We're like, well, who made this instrument? It's Oscar Schmidt. And Sears, their brainiac people, tried to keep Oscar Schmidt afloat. You know, they tried to keep him afloat by saying, you know, we got some legal guys that came in there and they declared bankruptcy on Oscar Schmidt. But, you know what I mean, they set up another company for Oscar Schmidt auto harps and another company called Stella. You know what I mean? One was making the auto harps, one was making Stella. And that's, you know what I mean, pretty much, you know what I mean, was what happened to Oscar Schmidt. We all know that. The truth, the auto harps continue to be made by the Oscar Schmidt auto harps. Had nothing really to do with Harmony. But the other side, that kind of fizzled out. The Stella thing, 1938, they, you know what I mean, Stella Guitar Company declared bankruptcy. And of course, Harmony purchased all the rights to the, you know what I mean, all the intellectual property of, you know, the Oscar Schmidt other than the auto harp. So that's what happened, man. But there was like 4 or 5 years in there, you know, from like 33 to like 38, where it's like, well, you know what I mean, well, what's happening? Who's making what for who? But Oscar Schmidt made this instrument right around 1936, is a late one, I'd say, right before they closed the doors. And it's really fucked up. The top's kind of caved in. The back, I don't know if you can see this here. You know what what I mean? All fucked up. But the good thing is, it has like the tuners look to be, you know what I mean, cool. And I'm excited about it, to be honest with you. It's going to be a hard one. It's going to be a long episode. So if you're mad that I just wasted 5 minutes and 17 seconds of your time, sorry about that. But I got plenty more time to waste. So let's get to it now. I'm going to flip you around. I'm going to put it on the slab. Right? That's what families do. We do things together, not separately. Remember that. One. Here we go, folks. It's going to be a real long one. I'm excited. You're not. This is a real musician's guitar. You can tell it's got like a viola peg stuck in there for the strap. You obviously had a viola at one point as well. That's not like, you know what I mean, an amateur to have like a viola sitting around and a guitar. So he had to be a real fucking pro. We was jamming out on it too. He wasn't just letting it sit in the corner. You can tell it's got a lot of fucking wear on it. A lot of use. He was jamming up here, so you know he was soloing. Right? We see everything we want to see for a mid-30s Oscar Schmidt. You know what I mean? The S-1, man. The bottom of the barrel. You know what I mean? This is their floor model. This is the base, man. Nothing special about this guy in the mid-30s toward the end there. There's no decalomania. They used to have crazy decals. This is just stencil. Straight up stencil, man. See, it's got this headstock. There's many of them that had that. We got these beautiful, look at that, the slotted flathead screws in the gear. Right? Gorgeous. Gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous. Looks like it's brass too. Brass gears, right? Brass posts. This is a drag right there, a big time drag. I believe I got this for $10. That's swap me. 10 measly dollars. I got this from the same guy who I got that Russian guitar from. He also had like a very long, like Kent tenor guitar or something like that. And like I tried to offer him $30 for it, and he was like offended about it, or $20 or something. I don't know what I'm trying to do. We're friends again. He sold me an instrument. See that? United started using those kind of things too, man. That's why people make those connections. This is a real mess, though. It's gonna take a lot of manpower, a lot of man hours. You know what I mean? All my manpower, $4 an hour. Yeah, nut. Nice wooden nut. Wasting no time writing my rhymes in the shower. So let's get over to the laboratory. Right, and let's get these. The strings are like original too. They look to be old ass strings. A full set. It's exciting, isn't it? Let's take them off very, very carefully in a preservationalist sort of mentality. Right? And get this in the laboratory immediately. The sunburst is still there. We're going to plot out our plan of action. Remember, this is an older instrument, so we're going to have to tone down our brutality in a brutal way. Welcome back to the laboratory. This is the Godfather edition. This is the instrument that pretty much set the tone for the mid-20th century guitar production in America, man. Whole trapeze, tailpiece, floating bridge. You know, same body dimensions as the guitar we spoke about last week. And guitars we'll talk about for the rest of the whole fall season, man. You know what I'm saying? We have the bridge stashed away. This is very similar to the bridge that we acquired last time to use. It's almost exact, man. These are very, very thick gauge strings. You know? I don't know if this is the right thing to be putting on this guitar. They're very, very heavy, heavy, heavy strings. Huh? We'll just put them away. We're going to reuse them because they're a million years old, but that might be dangerous for this instrument. So what's wrong? Well, this guy was hanging on by a thread on the back side. You know what I mean? When I pulled that little, pried that thing up, So let's see, the brace is still intact. And I just pushed it in. I guess it was almost intact, man. So we have to re-intact it. You know what I'm saying? Put that back in there. We'll wait on that, though. That's the least of our worries. This is a huge bowl dip right here. And the worst part about it is this fucking hair lip, man. You know what I mean? And it's a raised hair lip, too. Those are the worst because it not only affects, you know what I mean, the integrity and stability of the instrument, but it, you know, it affects, you know what I mean, the action. It affects the morale of the guitar, man. It's just fucks the whole scene up. Usually there's a genesis to this kind of thing. It's like, well, I kissed a girl and she had this weird kind of wart on her face. You know what I'm saying? And that's what happened to my big old blister, man. Now, this is missing a brace right around here. Right? And that missing brace sort of caused all the trouble. This is all bowled in here. All bowled out, man. You know what I mean? It's a fucking messed up scene, man. It's a big problem with this instrument, man. So, I was thinking maybe put another brace in, but that's not going to solve the problem. You know, the problem is, you know, much bigger than this, you know, surface area to fix. I mean, it's a very small area to sort of have contact with. To, you know what I mean, stop this thing. It's spreading out. You know what I mean? It's at a different level. We want to try to re-level it up. Because once we get that playing field levelized, things will start going back to normal. You'll see, man. You'll be surprised. So, I have a nice cedar shingle here, a big thick one, pretty much at the, you know what I mean, maximum size that we can fit inside the instrument sound hole without, we cover the top with glue, and we're going to stick the back here, we're going to brace it up, but we have to get this top malleable. You know what I mean? We got to get it malleable first, and I'll get into what we're going to do. I just want to show you real quick, you know what I'm saying, if we had replaced this with the brace, the brace would have weighed about 13 grams. This shingle section only weighs like 22 grams, something like that. 22 on the knob. So, I mean, we're not adding it's under an ounce. You know what I'm saying? Well, the difference is like 13 grams, something like that. 10 grams. It's less than 10 grams that we're adding to the guitar. Hey, man. 10 grams is not little, man. It's enough to kill a man, bro. So, we're going to do our old hot water trick on this fucking thing. Remove that bowl, man. We're going to take a nice 2-3 liters of boiling water, pour it in here, and then we're going to fill up the carafe again and pour it in again, and we'll pour it on this side here. Try to get this guy malleable. Try to get that wood wet again. We're going to try to be careful. I mean, it's got a full set of tuners, which is really good, really rare. Nothing wrong with them. We want to, you know what I mean, the nut's pretty good on this guy. We want to keep it, you know what I mean, as intact as possible. So I'll see you outside after we dumped a whole bunch of water in there. You know what I mean? And then we're going to bring it down here. We're going to let it set for a little while, and then we're going to brace this guy to the back of there once it seems like it's all wet. Right? So let's see outside. Look at that hole. Would you say that's a gaping hole, Steve? Alright, so on the overgrown back patio, we have, 2 liters of water, right? And we got our instrument in question. So what we're going to do, I'm just going to hold it like this, man. Right, and we're going to pour that water right in that fucking hole. Try to keep it on this side of the instrument. Try to get this part wet too on the back side of it. So let's do that now. Alright, you don't want to do this over grass because you'll kill the grass. You know what I'm saying? You want to make sure it's boiling water. Why boiling water? Well, it just fucks up the wood more, you know what I mean? It's just penetrates that shit. Reinvigorates it. Hold it on there. You know what I'm saying? You want it to do the most damage. It's already straightening out. I can see it already sort of bending the wood back to where it should be. Over this way a little bit. I'll try to get him even again. You got a drinking problem. You got a drinking problem there, Stella? It's because the name is Stella. And he identifies as a man. So let's get it this way for the rest of the... oh, this is hot. Hot, on the front there. Nothing better than that. Oh, this really is boiling, burning. But I feel the wood like softening up in my hands. It smells like old guitar. So we're just going to sort of let this sort of shimmy out of here. Hang out in here for a little while, and I'll see you downstairs when we're still soaking wet, but not as precarious. I threw up out the side of the guitar, man. So here we are, man, down in the basement. All the hide glue from that missing brace is all like gummed up in there. It's like hot again. It's ready. Lost another brace from in there somewhere. I have it on the bench on the other side. But we're going to solve most of this guitar's major problems in the next like 10 minutes if we do it correctly. So I have the cedar shingle, nice strong cedar shingle. This motherfucker's good, and it's got a little knot in here. So by the knot, sometimes it's extra strong, and that's the case with this one. Excellent. We're going to coat it with wood glue, like really good. We're going to actually flip this around, right? We're going to flip it around, sonny, like this. And we're going to clamp it to the edge of the, right the edge of that ledge there, man. So we don't have to actually put a clamp on the top of the guitar. Instead, the clamp will be on the bottom of this. I'll show you what I mean, sonny. We're going to go full speed ahead. Alright, so we got 3 clamps in there. Holding that little piece of wood down. You can barely see the wood, man. But everything looks good on the top now. Looks nice and flat, you know. We don't see any like serious bowls anymore. It looks good. We also did some preventative, you know what I mean? This separates always when we do this little trick. So we put a little piece of wood in there to stop the warpage. Put some weights and clamps and heavy piece of flat wood on top of all the other cracks. So they don't, you know what I'm saying, curve up when they dry. This way they dry like sort of flat. You know what I'm saying? So we can just clamp them in a day or two once the wood dries. Let's leave it down here, humidifier like clamp, you know, cranked up, and we'll take a look at it in like 2 or 3 days and see, you know, maybe a week. I don't know. We'll see how it dries, and then I'll, you know, keep you abreast of everything, man. Hey man, keep me 2 breasts, man, and a bush, bro. Alright, so it's been about 36 hours since we clamped it. Usually I let it go a little bit longer before I came here belly aching about all kinds of problems. Good news is the front looks pretty straight now, man. All down the line. And that's the important thing about an old guitar, is it has to give you a good front. But I noticed something a little bit concerning over here. Not totally concerning, I don't really care, you know what I'm saying? But there's a hump here, unnatural hump that's kind of formed. Because this is all now straight. These were all curled up. And now this is all humped down. So before it sort of, you know what I mean, totally hardens out again, I like to unclamp this guy. Because, I mean, we've been there for a long time. Flip it over. Put the bottom against this. I have one of these, which I've modified. Because it won't even fit in there with both of these. And this is what they use to hold, you know, some braces onto the guitar. I only have one of them, and I had another one. I don't know what to do with it, fortunately. So I'll put it right in the middle of this guy and try to straighten this guy out along here. And then wherever this guy comes up on the top, I'll just put a, you know what I mean? You'll see when I do it, man. I'll do it and you'll see it. Ready, set, go. Alright, so we got it. Half-ass. Those fucking inward clamps suck, man. They're so hard to maneuver around, especially if you're, you know what I'm saying? See my arm, man. It's all fucking cut up just trying to get it in there. But it looks like it's, you know what I mean, somewhere in the middle there. We got these 2 guys holding it down against the, you know what I mean? Who knows? We got all kinds of other clamps that fell out of there once we put it in there. So it's like a fucking Pandora's box. We'll see what happens. Give it a date or so. Alright, so it's been about 25 hours. Pretty sure that one brace is all dried up, or somewhat dried up. I have these 2 other braces that fell out. Also from the back. One about here. I think the other one's about here. Just looking at the size. So let's take this clamp off for right now and try to first do this guy. And we'll give him 24 hours. And then we'll do this guy, right? So I'll see you after 2 days pass. And we got these guys, you know what I mean? Next time I see you, we'll be taking these clamps off for good. Right? I'll see you there. Alright, so another 30 hours or so has passed. This last rib here is actually from like the top of the instrument, like right here. So let's unclamp it, right? Unclamp it. I thought it was from back here actually, because there's still a little bolt there, but there's still a clamp in place. It doesn't look like it's moving. So let's take a good lark at what we can do to get this guy clamped back, and I'll see you at that point. We're going glamping, man. Alright, so that's the final clamp. We'll let that sit about 24 hours. Like we've done the rest of them. And then we'll start clamping the sides. So we'll see you in about 24 hours. 1, 2, 3. Alright, so it's been about 24 hours. Let's get those clamps out and take a good lurk. Well, it's ugly looking. I threw up all over it, man. Just want to smooth my land to with a little bit of fucking cocaine, man. That's what it looks like at the end of the night, man. Anyway, we're going to slowly start clamping this side, just the front. The back, we'll worry about that later. The back, what happened was this guy was sunken in, so the side walls were all bent in too. And now the side walls don't know what the fuck to do, because some of them have moved around, some of them have not. So we're going to try to get it all perfect again. And if we can't, you know what I mean? We can't, but we're going to do it little by little. Because we want the front of the guitar at least to be as good as possible, because there's a little bit of, paint around here. Phony binding look. You know what I'm saying? Want that to be binding, Noriega. Sign it in blood. I know you know how to write still. I seen you playing tic-tac-toe with W. So I'll see you when we start clamping it around. I'll do a couple little vignettes as we go. So we start our slow journey around the guitar. I'll keep you updated here in Dart. Alright, so we're done with the top. Now we're going to work on the back. I've been focusing all the excess into this little corner here. That's where we're all cracked up. We can shave that off, you know what I'm saying? Little trick. Everything else looks like it's pretty good. Pretty close to, even Steven. Alright, so let's work on the back and just glue that down. Then we'll shave this guy off. See when we're all glued. Alright, so this is all set and dry. Clamps come off. Then we'll talk about the future. Future, Marty! Alright, so we are reattached, man. We got some serious cracks running through the back here that we need to address. But we'll wait on them, because the next step, we might mess it up if we fill in those cracks with the glue right now. We have this big lip hanging off the back of this thing here. That's where we put all the extra wood. You know what I'm saying? We just sort of like put it all in that corner. We squeeze this guitar back together. So let's take the Dremel and just shave this fucking little lip off, man. Shave that little extra lip off, man. Let's get it flush. You know what I'm saying? Because once we get it flush, then we can go, you know what I'm saying, fill these in. We won't have to worry about the vibrations jiggling open the cracks. Let's get that Dremel all fired up. Here we go, man. Real close to the collar, man. Looks great. The Dremel is a very, very good tool. Once you know how to use it, it's going to look like all jacked up the first couple of times you try something like this. But just smooth, deliberate, actions with it. And keep it with wood. You want to keep it, right, around that setting. And then to finish it off, we use a nice 50 garnet cloth and some 320 just to give it a nice smooth out thing. And that's good. Good. So we got some sawdust on. We're going to kind of leave that sawdust on there. And we're going to start attending these cracks on the back, man. Hey, man, step in the crack. You're breaking my back. This particular crack, we're only going to tend to like right here. And this particular crack, we're only tend to right here. We're going to leave the ends of those open because those are pretty big cracks. We're going to fill them with something in a little bit. But these cracks right here, let's get them all filled with glue. This particular crack right here as well. There's a crack right here that needs to be tended to, and there's a little crack that kind of runs all the way down Old Bess, man. Let's get some serious, in about 6 hours worth of just coming back, wiping it in, coming back, wiping it in, coming back. Every time it dries, we're going to put more on there. Leave the sawdust on it So get some sawdust in there too if you can. Right? And I'll see you after like 6 hours of just steady petty gluing. Now I'm not talking about Tom Petty, man. I'm talking about Richard Petty. Tom Petty is just too slow for me, man. I like speed, man. Hey, man, you got any speed? You kind of look a little gorilla. Alright, so we spent hours plugging these cracks full of glue. And as you can hear, our surroundings have changed a little bit. We're in the outdoors. It's Mondo, man. Right? A little breezy, but it's very kind of warm out here right now. We're in direct sunlight, so we'll just try to work real quickly to fill this guy right up to this line here. You know what I'm saying? Because look how much gap room there is. Lots of gap room. We want to fill that up good. Okay. A little bit of burn though, man. Don't mind, man. It's okay. We're all friends here. See when we're all filled up. Alright, so it might look a little sloppy on the smear. It's a sloppy job, man. It's an ugly sort of thing, Bondo. But it's actually pretty good. Pretty thorough. Pretty darn good. We're going to clean it up in just 1 second. Let's let it dry out here for about 5-10 minutes. Bring it into the garage till it doesn't smell that bad, and then we'll see you back in the basement. Alright, so it's been about 6-7 hours. Back in the laboratory. Everything's peachy keen, worked out well. Hey, Guitkit, man, that was really messy, man. I'm not really proud of you. Well, I don't know. A couple weeks ago, we talked about this and this, man. This is a magic erase sponge. This is alcohol, not the kind you drink unless you're really hard up. But as a poor man, it's Everclear, right? We're going to just sop up that alcohol with this guy and just go over all the places where this Bondo shouldn't be. Not going to go anywhere near where it should be, though, right? I'll show you when we're all cleaned up, man. We cleaned up the perimeter. Ready, set, and go. There it is, man. Whipped it back to where it needs to be. Didn't break any finish, you can see. Although we washed away a lot of scum. So now we're going to try to disguise this one and this one, man. Like these two big guys never existed. What? Not seriously, but we're going to try to just dial it back a little bit. Got some acrylic paints, some bittersweet chocolate. We got milk chocolate. A couple of harvest cheddars, you know what I'm saying? We're just going to get that color matched as good as we can in these lines. Right? Just the lines. We'll worry about this in 1 minute, William. Right? I'll see you after this has been masked out, man. See that? Much less prevalent. Much less prevalent. Filled in anyway. So we still have this little ring around the rosy here, where we shaved off that wood hanging off. Got an old furniture marker. Hey, man, that's pretty nice, man. Trade that, man, for some lewds. So we're going to try to, you know what I mean, clean it up, fill it in, maintain in mind it's got this nice little cool wear ring around the original finish. It's the whole deal, man. We're just trying to keep the original finish on this whole girl. Right? See when we're all filed back. Filed back, Sergeant. See, that looks great. It looks fantastic. There was already like black paint here, like dark brown paint, because somebody tried to do some kind of touch-up work themselves many years ago on this fucking thing. You can see it most prevalently over here. That's not from me. That was on the instrument. Anyway, got some shellac here, and I got a little tiny paint ghost. Oh, who goes there? We're going to do a quick run up here, run over here, and run over here. Anything that was flat, it's got some kind of refinish on it. We're going to do a real quick run of shellac. Give it a little shine, a little sheen, a little shone. See when that's been shined. So we basically just sealed in all of our work there, you know what I mean? Sealed it in, slightly little sheen around it. What you do after you put the shellac down and it looks good and looks like you got most coverage covered, you get a little bit of rubbing alcohol, and then you're gonna sort of blot it and just run it into those other woods so there's no like edges. No, not like it's a big deal on, you know, this particular instrument, because, you know what I mean, this thing's all fucked up. You know what I mean? However, you know what I'm saying? It's just a good skill to practice a little while doing shellac runs. getting it all sealed up. So we're gonna let this shellac dry. I don't know, give it 6-7 hours, right? And then we'll be back together. All right, so we've had it dry, I don't know, like 10 hours, something like that. A long time, man. Let's do some more cosmetic trips here, man. See this mess here? This big gash here? This scratch here? What do all three of them have in common? They can all be somewhat improved by using this furniture scratch marker. Let's dirt. You see that? You see that? A whole hell of a lot better than it did, man. A whole heckle jekyll a lot better than it did. So now we're getting down to the fine tunings. Let's see this big mark or something, man. Hey, man. You don't have to ask about that, man. It was a private night I had. It's here and it's here, man. I don't know what the hell it is. We're trying to get rid of it with just a magic ray sponge, a little alcohol. Don't rub too hard, man. I don't want to mess up the natural patina, bro. Not sure what it was. It's gone now, man. Let's give this guy another, like, sort of quick spot cleaning with some water. But not too wet, you know what I mean? Just douse this lightly, just dry, clean cloth. Try to get whatever glue residue might be left. And we're very, very close to being done, folks. So very close. I'll see you in a second. Alright, so look how much better it looks. But I mean, seriously, on the real, man, we pulled away a lot of fucking garbage off of it on both sides of this here rag, you know what I'm saying? Did a good job cleaning off, you know what I mean, a lot of glue that we got on there. And just like, you know what I mean, almost 100 years worth of crap. So now the big moment you've been waiting for. Hey, man, we got to get that cocaine Mylanta off of there, bro. This is always the part where people are like, hey, man, you ruined that guitar, bro. You ruined it, man. It's ruined, man. It's wrecked. It's all up and down that thing, man. It's even on the back a little bit, man. Just a little bit, man. It didn't ruin anything, man. These are called nail polish remover. This is 100% acetone. High test, right? This is 100%. This has been cut. This is a regular and high test. You know what I'm saying? Generally, I like to use high test for everything, but this is a job for regular. We don't want to be too high tested, then we'll pull all the paint off this fucking guitar. Just gonna take a little tiny bit of this, put it on one of a virgin magic erase sponge, and just quickly go over it. Now you don't want to start over here with them, you know what I mean? You want to get like in the corner first, you know what I mean? Just see if you get the flow right, you know what I mean? Because it's just a quick, just that will do you, and just melt all this shit away, and we'll be left with, like, you know what I mean, what it looked like before we, you know what I mean, got the Coke and the Mylanta on it, man. There's a lot of it on this, man. I fucking went ape shit with that water, man. It was like fucking Splash Mountain, people. We'll see you in about 25 minutes. You can do magic. Look at that. It's like it never happened. Quick hand, people. Quick hand. That's all I gotta say. You're not quick enough, you're going to totally destroy your finish, man. There's a trick to it, too. Once you get doing it, you're like, oh, that's it. Just the slightest bit of that nail polish remover just totally brings it back. And see all that wavy shit, all the checking and all body lacquer checking. It's all still there. It's all still completely intact. The finish is all intact. You know what I'm saying? Perfectly intact. Can't even tell that shit happened. Anyway, so now I'm going to talk about this hole in my butt. What? There's a hole in your butt. There's one of mine, too. Earlier in this episode, we saw this guy sitting in the butt, man. A mismatched Island of Lost Toys piece, man. And I have another Isle of Lost Toys piece. This was the bridge pin for that acoustic bass we did over the summertime, man. So what we're going to do with this guy, because, he doesn't have any friends, really. We're going to paint his head black. I have this old Japanese carving kit that I got from Mr. Miyagi's father. Miyagi! It's from Sato, man. Right? This gift for my friend Miyagi! Right? We're going to just carve this guy down because he doesn't fit into the butt, man. Just like David Koresh. He was telling, you know what I mean, all his prisoners, hey, man, I'm too big for you. See, it's too small, man. You gotta start using a dildo. He was like crazy, man. Koresh had like 15 wives. Anyway, man, let's paint him black, carve him down. You know what I mean? Tap him in there with a little glue. That's the print we'll be seeing each other. See together again. Wood carving set from the 40s or 50s, whatever it was, man. Old school, man. Good job, man. Just quick work of that. Got it glued in. Looks great. Looks period, man. Just let that dry. See all the white around it? White like around rice. We want it to be all dried out. I'll see you when that's happened, partner. There you go, man. It's the next day. This guy's in there solid and tight to dry. Strong enough to pull a fucking camper trailer, man. It's fucking good, man. So, we got this, man. This is taken away from the overall admirability of the guitar. This guitar has a lot of wear, but a lot of it's tasteful wear. It's commensurate with the guitar's age. This just is like, oh my god, what you know what I mean? The previous owner like have a fingernail clipper. Here you go, man. We're just gonna black them out with some furniture marker. This is a really good one that kind of mimics the look of lacquer when it's been polished. So let's do it up. I'll see you in a moment. Alright, so I mean, looking at it, you're like, well, maybe whatever, you know what I'm saying? I think Guitkits not that good. But wait. We have a vigorous cleaning thing coming up, right? Cleaning, waxing, polishing, all that kind of stuff. By the time we're done, it's going to look like we're lightly treading through the finish, as opposed to, you know what I mean, like it's been tread through a long time ago. We're turning into like a $3 whore to a girl that's just had a rough time. You know what I mean? She's not bad yet. She's just a little tainted. So, that being said, let's get a little bit of Polish, man. 37.9% kielbasa grease. That's because it's black market, people. Don't tell anybody. We're going to Polish this guy until, you know what I mean, he sings a polka. And, you know what I'm saying? Hangs out at Auschwitz. I don't know much else about Poland, really. You know what I'm saying? Not a very inviting place. Anyway, let's clean it up with the old Polish. I'll see you at that point. Yes. And one could see the pensive gaze as his eyes watched the horizon for the smoke of a distant fire. You know, say, it took a lot of that fucking old Polish man to make things sheeny around town here. There was some kind of glue on the back, man, that obviously had been used by another type. It was not me. Strange glue. It was very hard to remove. It's like he had like done some kind of like, I guess, maintenance on some of these, you know what I mean, minor cracks some time ago, and it was all over the fucking place. It was a mess, man. Anyway, so this is so, it was like soaking wet with the polish and shit that I had to actually go put it in the other room for about 4 or 5 hours, just let everything dry off. But you know what I'm saying? It looks a hell of a lot better than it did. You know, one thing I realize about these, you know what I mean, cameras is they don't pick up, like when you have those bowl like problems on guitars. It doesn't do justice. The video doesn't do justice how ugly it was and how wonderful and different it is now, man. It's awesome. So let's dry it off a little bit. It's about time. Everywhere, man. Here, there, and everywhere. If she's beside me, I know I need yellow cow. Mother's California gold is what I wear. Yes. Super shiny. Super shiny. Super shiny. Look at that. Like glass. Shaft to treasure, people. That's like a true beauty, man. True beauty. It just looks great. And that's what I was talking about. You know what I'm saying? Just peeking through the wood behind it as opposed to being all fucked up looking. Still with like a nice mild sheen. So let's talk about this old girl, man. You know what I'm saying? This is very similar to the thing we had last time we met. I told you I bought two. Here's the other one. Well, I like to be, special to the people. And I mean, essentially, it's the same product. They're about the same height. I think this one's like maybe a couple millimeters taller. But I mean, good job, man. Good job for reproducing an antique part. So what are we to do this to make it, make this bridge great again? Some of the wear we're going to keep, like on top here, on the sides here, and this right here where the paint's chipped away. We'll just hit that up with this old Wyman furniture marker back there, right? And when that's done, I'll see you at that print, right? 1, 2, 3. There it is, man. She cleans up real pretty once the subpoena comes out in the mail. Ain't nobody want to be incarcerated this close to Thanksgiving. So, we have a beautiful set of strings here. Light gauge strings. You know what I'm saying? Very similar to what was on it 1,000 years ago. Look at that, man. That beautiful shine in mind. Let's cut to the glamour shots in 1. 2. There it is, man. All hail the Godfather. There's none like unto thee. It's really the prototype, man. The blueprint for guitars from, until the mid-1970s. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't the first trapeze, tailpiece, floating bridge, parlor guitar, production model, but it was the first, in the hands of harmony, Just a great, that's the last Stella, man. This is the last Stella. This came out during the Great Depression. Think about that, man. The company itself didn't make it through the Great Depression, but this is one of their last products, the last incarnations of the S-1, the low end, you know what I'm saying? Think about that, man. 90 years ago, you're lucky if you had a fucking toothpaste and a fucking, quart of milk to give your child, Government come and give you a can of beans and no can opener. Motherfuckers outside hitting that shit with rocks. Look, Ma, I got it split open. We can eat it off the ground. There's only a couple worms in there and a couple bugs. All right, Cletus, let's eat dinner outside then. Cletus got one of them cans open. Here, bring over your Stella guitar and play us a song of depression. Anyway, it is what it is, man. It's a museum piece. It's not really, when you have it in your hands, it's like a delicate kind of thing. It's not something that you want to like fucking beat on. And it's all original. Other than this, which nobody would ever say, hey man, that's not original, bro. You must be on some kind of barbiturates, bro. Like a true barbiturate, like Nembutal, Tulinol, Seconal. True barbiturates, man. Knock you on your ass, man. What? This right here is the only thing that's really not original. It's got the original little fucking stencil rosette. It's got the original Grover bridge. It's got the original factory fucking tailpiece. It's got the original, I think those are Waverleys, right? The original Depression era black-headed Waverleys. Got the original nut. You know what I'm saying? It's got the original finish. Other than right here. Because my man was a jammer. Action a little high on the upper frets. I think it really has to do with this, to be honest with you. This is about 1.5 millimeters taller than like the modern part that I just showed you. So, you know what I mean? I think they liked it tall back then. I like a tall gal, man. I don't want no shorty. So, totally rehabilitated, reinvigorated. Everything's reassembled. You know what I'm saying? Everything's back inside of it where it should be, securely fastened to the instrument. Let's hear it, man. All right? We can listen to history together. And after that, we can say, peace be with you. Brother, can you spare a dime? You know what I'm saying? War of the Worlds. Fear not. The only thing we have to fear is fear itself. And there it is, man. The final Stella. The last blast. And definitely from the fucking past, bro. This is like a full feeling guitar. It's very lightweight. And it feels like a century instrument, like one of my favorite instruments. It feels like comfortable for me. We're working on staying in tune now. Because these near 100-year-old Waverleys are starting to. Good, man. We're showing our metal there. We're totally in tune. Good for you, Waverleys. Let's hear it, man. Nice little instrument, man. You can see, I should have mentioned this in the glamour shots, that the bridge had been here for a long time. You see that, man? You check and dig that. And then when I did I got out the, yardstick. I was like, I want to make sure there when I put it up. 12th fret. Ooh, wait a minute, it was in the wrong place. So, but you could see on the guitar a very faint footprint of where it should have been. Hey, man, like I said before, man, this guitar has been through fucking hell and high water. So many crazy, the nuclear bomb, you know what I'm saying? The fucking Cold War, Vietnam War, the Second World War. Crazy stuff. End of the Depression, man. The final Oscar Schmidt made Stella. Anyway, it's no secret here that I'm a big fan of the Beatles, especially Paul McCartney. I always like talking about Paul McCartney and the Beatles. And I love McCartney's like early solo works that people didn't really like. The more people slagged it off, the more I liked it. I love McCartney one before it was in vogue to like it, you know what I'm saying? After he did Unplugged, all of a sudden McCartney, the first McCartney album, I was like, oh yes, that's an artistic masterpiece. I liked it before that shit, man. Ram was another one, backseat of my car, Ram on. I mean, that's a great album, man. Too many people. Everybody hated Ram, I love it. Wings of Wildlife. Love that. Some people never know. Great fucking disc, man. And one masterpiece that recently, I think within a year or so, reached its 50th milestone without any mention from the McCartney machine was Red Rose Speedway. I love Red Rose Speedway. Love Red Rose Speedway. From start to finish, from Big Martin Bed to the end of that fucking medley, it's a perfect album, man. It's a perfect record, man. It's a perfect disc. It's a perfect CD. Perfect cassette. You know what I'm saying? It's just great. And it's especially, you know what I mean, for me, it's got that McCartney whimsical charm with that medley, man. At the end, man, it's like that. It's like Abbey Road if it was just Paul McCartney. You know what I'm saying? This little fucking dope he is. Paul McCartneyism, man. Let me make sure I'm in tune because I want to jinx myself. Look at that. Oh, lazy dynamite. Oh, lazy dynamite. Oh, lazy dynamite. Oh, lazy dynamite. I can't get over myself falling into the hands of love. I can't imagine myself falling head over heels in love. There may be a power cut and the candles burn down low. Maybe I love you, me I love you, me I love you so. Paul McCartney, man, thank you for breathing the air, man. I know you're I seen him some YouTube clip recently, real drunk at a party trying to sing. I saw her standing there, and he was like out of his mind, man. He like, so I don't know what he was singing, man. I was like, Paul, man, you gotta calm down. He's like 1,000 years old. We don't want to lose him, you know what I mean? Like Jimi Hendrix in front of like an audience. You know what I'm saying? Like, oh, McCartney died in front of the audience. He's so fucked up. He's like always trying to prove that he's youthful. Paul, listen, man. You ain't like Frankie Valli. We talked about last time. Well, you ain't no spring chicken, man. You can't be like, you know what I'm saying? Hey, man, life of the party. So, hey, man, next episode, we're going to fall back into an old friend, man. Fall back into fall, man. Have you fallen in love? What do you get when you fall in love?